Hello, welcome to another episode of Investigators in Cars Drinking Coffee. I'm your host, Mark Murnane, president of Complete Legal.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Merry
That's
Christmas.
right. President of El Presidente of Complete Legal Investigations in West Palm Beach, Florida. El Presidente.
What does that make me?
El Vice Presidente. I don't know what the word is.
Okay.
This is my wife and partner, Wendy Strom Murnane, licensed private investigator, certified paralegal. And wanted to spend a few minutes with you today talking a little business. We're going to talk some business here. And the question is, how do attorneys actually find and select a private investigator to work with?
That's
right?
a good topic.
That's a good topic. I think so. I put it down here. It's a very good topic. I wrote on it. I got a little bullet points here.
Oh, okay.
So how do actually attorneys find a case? And again, you and I have worked with attorneys for many years.
We have.
And you know, they're tell me from your experience, what are attorneys sensitive to when looking for a professional to work with?
Well, they're sensitive to their reputation and their law license and their law career. And so they want someone with ethics, someone they can trust, someone they know that isn't going to cause a bar complaint to be filed against them.
Absolutely.
And someone they can work with, someone that's willing to listen and work with them and cares about them as a client.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be, that should be normal, but sometimes that's not how people think. I think in the old days, what did people do if they wanted to find a PI?
Well, they went in the yellow pages.
Anybody even remember the yellow pages anymore?
That was a phone book that was yellow.
That's right. Now they call it Yelp. That's what Yelp means, yellow pages.
Yes.
It was funny. We were trying to find a phone book.
Remember, they were this thick.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
We were trying to find one and could not find in our office or home a yellow pages.
Oh, you didn't find one?
No,
okay.
The one we found was soaked.
Oh, okay.
so not the yellow pages, and they're not Googling private investigator in my town, are they?
And not the good lawyers. No,
they're not. So here's what we did. Several years ago, when we were really building our business and getting things started, we hired a consultant, and she conducted interviews of a number of our clients at that time. Talked to quite a few of them, and the information she got was so helpful because it really did help us frame our marketing strategy. And painful, yeah. What did and did not work, because we had no idea how attorneys really did it. But here's the number one way that attorneys find and select a private investigator. They, just what you said, ask other lawyers.
Exactly.
And what they'll do typically is they'll go to a listserv group. And listserv groups are, as you probably use them in your own business. I belong to a listserv group for investigators, nationally, statewide, regionally. But they will ask other attorneys in their career field. For instance, we do a lot of work with criminal defense lawyers, plaintiff personal injury lawyers, and they have their own listserv groups, and they will ask for recommendations there.
Right. They'll put out who knows a good private investigator.
Yeah.
And then we just hope and pray they say Complete Legal Investigations.
Well, many of them do, fortunately. So, but that's how they do it. They're not so. Do you spend money then on sophisticated marketing campaigns? What are some of the other ways that people do for marketing? Direct sales, direct mailings,
telephone calls,
cold calls, sales calls, things like that.
Booths up at law
trade
events,
shows and things like
shows,
that. No, those aren't necessarily bad, and they may be a component, but that is not the primary way attorneys find investigators. They find them on listservs.
Yes.
And then then that process is just how it begins. Once an attorney receives a recommendation, then she will then do the next thing. They'll visit your website or find you on social media.
Yeah, I think they're still doing a lot of website, don't you?
Yeah, they're primarily websites. Most businesses have a website presence, but some of them will.
And Facebook, I guess, is now the new website.
Kind of the default website.
Yeah, true.
I always recommend having a professional website done for most of your content, but Facebook pages, we have one very active. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com, Complete Legal INV. And Complete Legal Investigations, and sign up with us on Facebook. But they'll go to social media and they'll do a background. And what are they looking for on these web pages?
Well, they're looking at what kind of cases you handle, and mostly they're looking at your previous clients.
Yep. Testimonials. They want testimonials from either other attorneys or from former
Yeah,
clients.
it's a small world. The legal world is a small world.
Yeah, it's a small community, particularly even in large cities. The legal community itself is a small community of that. Now, once they actually visit your website and check you out on social media, they will then make a telephone call to the investigator. Now, sometimes, I just got one today, in fact.
You did?
It was an attorney who had been referred to us by another attorney. She had checked out, she had spoken with another attorney she knew. He recommended us. She called me, but after visiting the website, checking us out, she called me and we had a telephone conversation. So that is the normal means by which attorneys then make contact with an investigator. That's like step 3 in the selection process.
So it's important in your marketing materials, your website, or any kind of handout that you have those testimonies available for them to read. They really want to see who's used you and what they're saying.
And I think the testimonials online provide a little bit of a broader history. Sometimes you get only 1 or 2 names in a referral, a recommendation on a listserv. If they can go to your website and see some testimonials from other people, either they know or they recognize their names, particularly in the geographic area there. All right, so that's the first 3. They ask other attorneys on listservs. Number 2, they search out your website and your social media platforms. Number 3, they'll place a telephone call. And then number 4, once that contact is established, the attorney measures your competency and your professionalism during that conversation.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So in other words, if you're an idiot on the phone, they probably aren't going to call you. They'll just figure,
Well, number 1 is call them back.
Call them back. What is the one thing we hear all the time from attorneys?
They won't call me back. They don't answer the phone.
The investigators won't answer phones and they won't call back.
Excuse me, right.
I call back, we call back, even if we know they're mad at us.
Yes.
We've had clients just be upset. We've made mistakes. There have been misunderstanding communication. Call them back.
Right.
You work so hard to get the case. You work so hard to get the referral. Make a return phone call. It's only painful for a minute.
Right.
You know, if you make a mistake, own up to it. Hey, I'm sorry I messed that up here. We'll get it resolved, whatever. But answer the phone, return the phone calls. But they want to measure your competency. Do you know the subject matter that they're asking about? This had to do with a complaint filed against another professional. Want to know if we would be able to do some interviews. And of course, that's kind of our sweet spot. She knew that probably going in when she made the call. But that's number 1. So attorneys asking other attorneys on listservs or by phone calls. Number 2, they visit your website, our social media platform, and we recommend that you have a professional do both of them.
Yeah.
Do you want one of those DIY?
No.
DIY?
Spend some money on it. Invest in it. This
Do it
is your
yourself.
future, you know.
It's your business. It's how you're
it
going to
reflects who you are. I'm telling you, lawyers are looking for professionals.
Yeah.
That is the number 1 thing they're looking for.
And make sure when you do, this is just my own person, make sure that you do a grammar check on anything you put on social media. I'm kind of a grammar, you know. That's number 2. Number 3, they'll visit the website, then they'll call you, and you should either return the call or have the conscience, or the conscientiousness to receive the call. And number 4, they're going to measure your competency during that phone call. Do you know the subject matter they're asking you about? So
the other thing we do is when we do get a referral, we send a thank you card handwritten to the person that referred clients to us, because they're our bread and butter. We are so appreciative of the attorneys that refer us cases. We just take that as a complete vote of confidence. And we feel, very humbled that they would do that. So Mark always takes the time to send a little card to them. We have cards with our logo on them and just say thank you so much. Even at Christmas, we might drop them a little gift card or something, because we live on referrals.
All professionals live on referrals because those are the best cases.
Yes, yeah.
And but actually, I wish Wendy would handwrite the cards, because my handwriting is almost illegible. But anyway, I think people appreciate
They get the idea.
They get the idea.
So we're at the beach.
Yeah, we are at the beach. I
You
forgot
can't
to mention
see it.
that.
It's
You can't see
over
that.
here.
It's
Over here.
We just decided we'd take a break from a big
Beautiful
investigation.
winter day.
Beautiful
in
winter day
Florida.
in Florida.
Yeah.
Here it is, December something, and we're here at the beach. So to our friends in Minneapolis, to our children all over the country in the cold weather, we love you, we miss you. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you
Merry
next week
Christmas.
on
Happy
Investigators in
holidays.
Cars Drinking Coffee.
Happy New Year.